So, what's going on, everyone? It's time for another top 5 reasons to play. We're looking at Gods Will Fall, created by Clever Beans, published by Deep Silver, and it is a very cool indie game that is, I don't know about Souls inspired per se, although it does kind of have a little bit of that feeling to it. Any game I say, any of these like tougher games, are really feels like Souls inspires, right? But what it is, the idea is you have a clan. It's all based on Celtic myth. You have a clan of X amount of warriors, male and female, and you go into these realms of these gods. Because basically, the people have had enough of these gods demanding sacrifices and all these things, and it is your basically goal or fate to send your clan member in and kill the god and then come back out and go after the others and such, and bring down this realm of oppression over all these people and things. So it's really cool, and I want to get into the top 5 reasons of why I think you should play this, because I've been having a blast with this. Now, this is kind of roguelite in its own right, because if you fail, you start over with a whole new clan and everything like that. Although I don't think it's more rogue, or it's more rogue style, if anything, because I don't think there's really anything you get if for the further you get in, at least not that I've seen. But someone can correct me if that's the case, if they played through it and they know you get extra stuff or better weapons that carry over or whatnot if you fail. But I think you start over regardless and then just have to start from scratch and build everything up again. Anyway, let's get into the top 5 reasons to play. Again, Gods Will Fall. Fantastic game, and I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, the variety of the gods. There are various gods from the Celtic myths, and they are really cool and really well done. They each have their own realm, own music, own style, and worshippers as well that are designed in different ways and whatnot, which is really cool. And then when you get to the gods themselves, they're all done, like, just the design work, the creature design, the monster designs of them look really cool. And not to mention different types of ways to battle them. Some are straight out just tank and spank. Some of them actually have some little methods you have to do and things like that. So there's a good variety, and I like that. All right, number 2, level design. Level design is incredible. Each of the realms, as I talked about, have different varieties. So each of the realms have a different look to them, a different design to them. Now, it's all kind of this Diablo-like, style in terms of graphic-wise, or in terms of layout-wise. But you do get some parts, like right here, you just saw that we were able to like look up and see all the land or all the realm. And it's really cool because there are some pieces like where you're walking by a bridge and you get to see everything, like it pans out and shows everything, or you're up on a cliff and you can look to see everything on the across or stuff. And like I said, there's different styles. You have ones that are like based with water, so there's water crashing up against the rocks near you and everything like that. You have to go on kind of a raft and take it further in to get to certain areas. One of the ones I was just in was a big forge, so you had to actually jump on like one of the things that were doing the hitting of the anvil and stuff, so you had to like time your jump and get over there. So it's really cool. It's not a lot of platforming per se. It's not like a lot of like, oh, make sure you do jumps and stuff, but there are some realms that do have a little bit of that involved. So with that being said, let's go into number 3. Just listen to it. The music in this game is really cool, from the very subtle sounds to when you're in there and you're fighting and the combat really starts kicking off and you just can start hearing like the drums and the especially being someone who loves Celtic music and Norse music and such, this like grabbed me right up the bat as I'm going through the realm, working my way up to that god. Like I felt the inner force of wanting to fight, the inner force of wanting to battle this god, to face this god, to face it face to face, and just be like, and then one of the mechanics is as you kill things, you build up this kind of rage that you can let loose, and it heals you. That's kind of how you heal in the game and stuff. And when that happens, like as the music's pumping and everything, oh, it's so good. Chef's kiss. All right, number 4. Let's talk about the clan. The clan is really cool because it changes up every time you play the game. everyone has their own things, and they all have like little storylines that they kind of get as they produce. So if you send someone in to go fight this style god, they'll come out and they'll have a little story maybe about it. There could be a thing where one of your members falls in there, and then someone else is like, "Oh no, that's my lover or my brother," and then their story kicks off, and that gives you like sometimes like extra strength or extra vigor or minus, depending, because they may be afraid of that god. And then that's kind of like a risk reward thing. So if you send them in, you might be able to come out with some nice like better weapons and things like that. So you do get some nice, like, it's really cool to go back and look at the story, and it actually fills in instead of just these random people. Like, they actually give you, you know, a little bit of background on them and stuff, and a little more of why they're wanting to face those gods, which is really cool. Number 5, the combat. Of course, any game is not really good without its combat, right? Now, I've heard some people talk about how they don't like the combat the best. It's one that you have to get used to, unfortunately. Now, there is a parry system, which is cool. It's kind of based in almost like Neo in its own right, in terms of there's a parry in Neo 2 where you have to actually dive into the enemy. I think that's in another game, too. There's another game I was playing where you have to dive into the enemy to parry. But that's how they parry in this. There's no block unless you actually pick up like an item, a shield that can take so many hits. And there's dodging, though, of course. And then, of course, there's the, you know, there's your light swings and your heavy swings. But one of the cool things is that any weapon that falls from the enemies, you can pick up and throw at them. So you do have a nice little range situation. Like you see right there, we just picked up that spear, threw that at the guy. We could pick it up again until it breaks and throw it at them. So you do have that cool style and whatnot. So I've enjoyed the combat. Again, it's something you do have to get used to. You got to be kind of quick with the reflexes, but beyond that, it can definitely be fun, and it's really cool sometimes to like throw a sword or throw a spear into someone and just watch them crumble to the ground. That's that. This is top 5 reasons to play Gods Will Fall. Coming up in the future, we're going to be probably taking the top 5 off and making it top reasons to play, because some games I feel not always are top 5 and not always, sometimes are even more. So I want to start doing more top reasons to play, but I want to definitely focus more into the indie realm, as well as some AAAs once in a while that like I think you guys should definitely check out. But there's definitely some good games out there that I feel you guys would like, especially when it comes to the fantasy and the darker fantasy and the apocalyptic stuff and horror and things like that too. So we'll be getting into that. So I wanted to say thank you very much as always for coming by the streams, for giving the sub. We're hitting the notification bell. You guys are great. We're just working our way through things. And if you have played Gods Will Fall, tell me your favorite god that you fought and such. And beyond that, we'll talk in the comments. You guys and gals do great. Be safe. Be just. This is Storm the Bard. As always, huzzah!